too bad. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you for asking. So I'm curious what brings you in to see us today?
Well, there is a individual at the probation office who thinks that I should talk to you.
Alright, so somebody thinks you should be here.
That's what they keep telling me.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like what they keep telling you isn't necessarily what you're feeling.
Yeah, no, that's, I honestly don't think I have a problem, per se. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here.
Yeah. So it's a little bit confusing as to why you're even through these doors.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this would be easier if I had a drinking problem to articulate, but,
So you're saying this would be so much easier to say if you had a drinking problem. So am I right that I'm hearing that probation is saying they want you here because they think you have a drinking problem?
yes. They believe that there's some service that you guys can offer me that would help whatever they believe the problem is.
Okay, and I can see you're super not impressed with that.
Yeah, no, I've had about enough with the people that I've been dealing with, so hopefully get a better rapport with you guys.
Right, so you've been through quite a bit before you even come here.
Yeah, a couple of agencies have passed me along.
Okay, what does that mean they've passed you along? I'm curious.
I feel like no one's really helping me. They're just speaking at me. It's frustrating.
I bet. Yeah, for sure. Nobody likes that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're so human at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be treated as one.
So I am curious. So obviously I'm hearing that like your past experiences haven't been the greatest, right? And that you're here because somebody else wants you to be here. So that's a really kind of a stuck place to start from. And I'm really curious, what is it that, you're hoping that we can support you with or provide you with the service that you're looking for?
Well, I'm not really sure. What kind of services do you guys offer?
Oh, okay. So that's an awesome question, and I'm sorry that I didn't just start out with that. So at Forecast, we basically work with everybody with where they're at. So we call that being client-centered. So if, somebody comes in and they're like, I don't want to be here, I feel ya. You don't want to be here. So what can we do to support you in the process that probation is saying, well, he's got to be here today, tomorrow, maybe another time. So we have groups, we have individual counseling. So that would be with me with the individual piece. Groups are like, some are drop-in. Some of our groups are more of a referral style where it's like a 16-week commitment. I'm not sure if that would be kind of up your alley at the moment.
Does any of that stuff work?
What's that?
I said, does any of that stuff work?
It depends on the person. So quite a few people do enjoy it. Some people give it a try and then they're like, not so much for me. So it just depends on you, and really whatever it is, it's got to work for you at the end of the day. Because like you said, it's no fun when somebody's telling you to do stuff.
And you would be my principal point of contact, right?
I would be your person. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. It's good to have a person.
It's good to have a person? Awesome. So with regards to what probation is saying, is there anything specific that probation is telling you you have to do in order for them to be satisfied with what you're doing?
All right, well, probation wants me to work on my drinking, but obviously I don't think it's a problem. I wouldn't consider myself an alcoholic per se.
That's totally not a label that you identify with.
Okay, so basically, yeah, they just want me, they believe that there's things that I can be doing proactively to help myself. Whether that is actually the case or not is to be seen.
Okay, so you're saying there are certain things they're telling you and you're like, I'm not really sure if I believe in that. So I wonder, what is it that you would want to do, since it sounds like kind of you're stuck being with me for a little bit. So what are some of the things that you would be open to talking about when it comes to that drinking piece?
This might be a little bit too constructive, but how it affects the people around me.
Sure. So it's not about you necessarily, it's about what about the other people in my life and how are they feeling about it?
Well, they are the ones who have the problem with it.
Right, so they're the ones with the problem, not you.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so it's hard to be here when that's the case for you.
Well, yes, exactly. Like, I mean, people keep telling me all these things, like, you drink too much and other variations of that, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously they just don't understand how much I can handle of my alcohol drinking, you know? Some people can just drink more, you know?
Right, so it sounds like you say you drink more than others.
Yeah, that'd be a fair assessment.
Yeah. Is it okay for me to ask you how much that looks like?
Like a 6-pack a day, probably.
Okay, so it's a 6-pack a day, and it sounds like from what you're saying, it's more than the other people in your life, and at the same time, for you, that's your norm.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I'd say that's just a normal day in the life. I really wouldn't want too much change to go on in that. I'd really just like everyone around me to start feeling better.
What do you mean by that? I'm curious.
Well, you know, like they seem sad or disengaged or things like that, and I have no. They say it's because of my drinking, but obviously, you know, I feel I'm in a great mood when I'm drunk. So I'm not sure where this disconnect is coming from, where they think one thing and I have this other version.
Oh, so there's like a really big surprise for you as to they're telling me that there's an issue and they're disconnected, and I don't really see where this issue is coming from because I feel okay with my behavior.
Yeah, exactly. I think the point would be if I'm okay with what I'm doing, then everyone else around me should also be okay with what I'm doing.
So you would like them to accept what it is that you're doing?
Yeah, a level of acceptance would be nice.
Mm-hmm. So Ian, from everything that you've shared, it sounds like you're reflecting on the idea that other people in your life may be impacted by your use of alcohol, and also the fact that you're kind of stuck coming here to see me and that I'm your person. And with that being said, it sounds like you don't mind kind of checking in now and then and kind of looking at, you know, what does that impact on others look like?
Yeah, exactly. I think I mean, if all I have to do is come in and sit down and talk with you every once in a while, I mean, there could definitely be worse things out there in the world to have to do. If it makes my family happy, then, I mean, it's a step I think I'd be willing to take.
It's a brave step to take.
I feel brave.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.